Hi everyone, this is Gail. I know I'm going to mention something that you probably don't want to think about right now, and that's Christmas. And I just was trying to think of something that I wanted to do, and I have projects in mind. And one of the things I want to do is to make some Christmas mosaic tiles out of polymer clay. So I thought I would show you my process. I'm not going to bore you with conditioning a lot. I've already conditioned 2 clays. I'm going to be using and this is the old formula Primo. I'm going to be using the Primo Silver, the Primo Green Pearl, the Primo Gold, and some cadmium red hue. And what I'm going to do is, because it's so bright, I'm going to add a package of pearl. But I'm using 3 packages of each to get started and just to see where this goes. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking the pack of clay, see this is a whole Primo block, and I set it up on its side and I slice it into 3 slices, because that usually will go through the pasta machine with no problems. And I'll take this in by itself, excuse the noise. That was a little harder than I thought. So let me roll this a little bit. Usually the metallic colors are a little bit softer than the regular clay, but this, like I say, it's the old formula, so it's been sitting here a while. So I'm just going to roll it a little bit thinner, or if you want to, you could slice this into 4 slices and just make the slices a little bit thinner, and that will also prevent this from happening. But let me finish doing this. I'll show you what I do. And this one crumbled on me, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more conditioning than I thought. But I would stack these so that now you have a double layer of clay. Just stick that in there where that hole is. And I don't know, I think I would roll it first just to help warm it up a little bit. You wouldn't think rolling it would make it warm up, but it really does. If you think about, what's it called? Friction. It will cause heat. And let me see if I can get this through without it falling apart. The edges crumble, but that's okay. I can deal with that. But I wanted to show you my process. I'm not going to make you watch as I condition all of this clay. So I'll be back after it's conditioned. Be back. Okay everybody, I'm back. I tell you, that gold clay really gave me a workout, but it all got conditioned. What I ended up doing, and you can do this with any clay that you have that you feel like is too dry and you're having a hard time conditioning it, just add a little bit, couple drops of liquid polymer clay. I always keep some liquid Kato here. Kato is really my preferred brand of clay, but for tiles I thought I would go ahead and use my old Primo because I had a bunch of that on hand. So anyway, I added this red here, and you can see, I think, the sheen that it has. The cadmium red, and let me get one that's not mixed so you can see a little bit of difference. It's supposed to be a true red. To me, it has a little bit of orange in it. I don't think you can really tell without me opening, maybe that way. You can see it's got a little bit of orange. And by adding the 1 package of pearl to 2 packages of the cadmium red, gave me this real pretty Christmas red. And it's got a little bit of a pearl shine to it, so that's going to make some pretty tiles. Now I've got some rubber stamps out. I'm not a big fan of Happy Holidays. I'm more of a Merry Christmas person. But I do have some stamps, and I thought I would try, since the red was the last clay I conditioned, I would get these stamps out. I don't think I need to keep that box. But this one says Holiday Blessings. I have a little ornament, you know, that I don't know because it's not very deeply etched. I don't know what that's going to do on the clay, but we'll see. Have a package, a little gift package. Have a poinsettia since I'm working with red. This is a little large for a tile, but it might make a focal tile in the center of a project. And then I have these little stockings, and again, these stockings, the ones on either side are not very deeply etched, so I don't know how well they will do on clay, but the one in the middle might. So I'm going to try it, and then if I don't like the little ones, I'll just cut out the one in the center. And what else do I have? I have a Joy to the World, which is another big stamp, but again, I could do that in as a center stamp. I've got these other little stamps. I haven't pulled them out to really look to see what I've got. This one is some holly. It looks like a gift tag. It's supposed to be for a gift tag, but it's got holly on one side, so I might use that on the green. And this is a frame, which I may be able to use for something. I'm not sure yet. Then we have this little Christmas tree, which looks like it might do well, but I'll keep that for the green. And here's another little tiny Christmas tree, which will make a nice little tile, because I really don't have any Christmas charms right now. And this is a fleur-de-lis. I'm not too sure what that has to do with Christmas, but it was in this Christmas pack. I've got another Happy Holidays, just like the one on the ornament. And then I have a little one that says Merry and Bright. So for right now, I think I'm going to just stamp these. I know what I'll do. I think I'm going to try... Let me try the stocking one first by itself and just see what it does. And I'm going to use an acrylic block, if I can find it. There it is. And stand up and just push to make sure this goes in as well as it can go in. Actually, this is big enough. I don't think I need the acrylic block. Just press and then see what we've got. Oh, well, that's not too bad. Those little stockings showed up pretty good. So what I'll do, I've got my conditioned clay sitting on my tile that I need to put these on. So let me get this off. Move that out of the way. So I think what I'll do here, I might waste a little bit of clay, but I think I'd rather do these one at a time. But I'm going to cut this out. And I'm working on my white tile instead of my grid tile, so I may not get these cut straight, but I can fix that later. See, I cut that kind of close, so I'll cut this one kind of close. Here's my little kidney. If I ever need a transplant, I've got one. Oh, that wasn't even funny, was it? Because I know there are people out there that need kidney transplants. But I pressed so hard getting that stamp to take. There we go. And can you see that? You get the light on it. That turned out pretty cute. Now this is stamped just the impression. I see where the little dots didn't show up too much. I'm going to go back, I think, let me put it on my baking tile so I don't have to move it again. But this is my baking tile. And I have a little T-pin that most people have in their office supplies. And I'm going to, if I can get it to where I can see, just put the little dots along here like we're on the stamp. They're not very straight, but if you can see how I'm holding this, it's a wonder I'm getting them on there at all. But that's kind of cute, and I might put some little dots in the toe of this one. Now what I'll do, and I'll bake this, and then I'll use, or maybe I'll do it before I bake it. I might use some Perfect Pearls on this. There's been some discussion about Perfect Pearls and Pearl-Ex being the same, and that's one thing I'd like to clear up, at least from what I have been taught. I was told that Perfect Pearls has a binder mixed in with the mica powders that permanently bonds with your clay, and that Pearl-Ex did not. It was just a mica powder. I've heard both ways that, you know, yes, Pearl-Ex will stick, no, Pearl-Ex doesn't. I use Pearl-Ex because I like some of the colors that they have that I don't have in the Perfect Pearls. I don't always seal it, but with this being Christmas and everything would be bright and shiny, I think I would probably, if I used Pearl-Ex, I would probably seal it with some Varathane or something at the end. But I'm going to try this same stamp. I think I'll just use black, just because I like black accents on things. So, let me do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. But make sure it's covered good. And then instead of pressing it in, I'm just going to lay it on top and just press it enough so that the ink comes in contact with the clay. I'm not pressing hard. And hopefully I have a good stamp. How's that? These little dots again kind of got covered up. Maybe I pressed too hard. No, they're just teeny tiny little dots. So I don't know. I may use that. Let me wipe my stamp off before it dries. And I'll clean that in a little while. But I'm going to cut this one off and set it aside. I'll decide later what I'm going to do with this. I may not even trim it, but so much just because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And this should come up easier since I didn't press the dickens out of it. But I'll lay that on my tile next to the other one and let that ink dry. Okay, what else will I try? How about the poinsettia? That's going to be a big one, and I'll do that before I cut up my clay. Let me see what this is going to look like just pressed into the clay. Now I'll make some of these in different colors Like, well, the poinsettia I probably won't. I might make it in a white. That's what I needed to do, was to mix up some white. But I can do that. Goodness knows I've got enough clay to work with for right now. There's my poinsettia. It looks pretty. And I'll trim that off. And I really can't see if I'm cutting straight because I'm working in front of me, so you can see from the camera. My kidney's thinner, so let me get that up with the kidney. Again, I've pressed hard to get the impression. Now this would look pretty with some stickles. But I'm going to go ahead and just work with red right now. And I had a bubble under that poinsettia when I laid it down. Okay, what else can I do in red? Let's, on some of these little pieces, let me do this merry and bright. That would make a cute little stamp. And again, I'm going to make this, I lost my block again. I tell you, that's the only thing about these clear acrylic blocks is being clear, they disappear very easily, and it's usually right under my nose. I'm not sure where that is. Let me use a long one. It's not very clean. But anyway, to get an impression, and then I'll also do one of these in ink. Put that right next to it. There you go. Let me clean this off. Still looking for my acrylic block. It'll show up when I'm least expecting it. Anyway, I'll go ahead and trim these two off and get them on my other tile. And then after they're over there, then after I've got a few tiles over there, then I'll switch over to my baking tile and then I'll start decorating some of the ones I've already done. So these aren't finished yet. These are just at an in-between stage. Well, I can tell that's crooked and I'm not even over top of it. Let me... There you go. And right there. So now we've got one that's embossed and one that's inked. And I will probably not use half of the tiles that I make, but I'll save them for another project later on. Let's see, I've got some little stamps, little clear stamps. Let me see what's in here that I might want to do. Because small stamp, it's good to have some small stamps. Actually, I might just use this the way it is, because it's 4 cute little stamps, even though one of them's a Christmas tree. I'll make the impressions anyway. Hopefully I'm pressing hard enough. Yeah, I didn't do too well with the stocking. I probably need to put them on a acrylic block if I could find mine, because that long one isn't the best. What would I... Here's another one. It's not the one I was using because I had the other one cleaned off. But let me see. Let me wipe it off real quick. Okay. Now I'm going to put the package and the stocking on here, and I'll put those, well, let me cut this off first because I like these little sayings. It's just the stocking and the package didn't, and I have a red Christmas tree. That's okay. My mother used to work for Reynolds Metals. Matter of fact, I did too. That's where I retired from. And when they came out with the aluminum Christmas trees, everybody, you know, that worked for Reynolds got a tree. And we were, I'm not going to say we were poor, but my mother was divorced, raising 2 children by herself. And we didn't have a lot of money, and Christmas trees were something that we all loved, but we sometimes couldn't afford a really nice one. This was back when they didn't have a lot of artificial trees. And so she brought home, all the employees got one of those trees in silver with the light, remember the rotating light, so that the light changed colors. And she came home and we put the tree up. And we decorated it, and we turned the light on, and we sat there, and we looked at it. And then we got up, and we undecorated it, and took it down, and went out and bought another tree. It just wasn't the same. Nowadays, there are people that would love to have one of those trees, but at the time, it was not what I was envisioning for a tree. Or my mother. Okay, I got that done. Let me put these up here, if there's enough room. I think there is. And just impress these in a little bit more than what the other ones did. Oh, that's much better. Now my stamp has red clay in it, but I'll clean that off later. So now I have another little package and a little stocking. I know this is upside down for you, but it's right side up for me. So let me just trim that. I might try some pearls on that, just perfect pearls, and see what happens. It might, those designs might show up. Ooh, I almost cut that toe off. But you know what? It's only clay. If I'd cut it off, I'd just ball some up and do it again. Actually, this present is kind of lopsided, but I might leave it lopsided. I think I will. It gives it a little bit of whimsy. Okay, these I'm gonna just hearing, sorry, I got quiet. I've got the Today Show on in the other room, and I just heard a special report come on. And you know, nowadays, you don't know what's going to be reported anymore. I just wanted to make sure there hadn't been some other kind of attack. But it's something else. I don't know if it has something to do with somebody else. Let's see, but one thing I do want to do, and I saved this big piece of clay for that. I have this embossing folder that I got at Tuesday morning, and I don't know if you can see what it says or not. If I had any colored paper, here's some colored paper. That might help. But see, it says Jingle Bells, Deck the Halls, there's a package, Holly Jolly, Snowflake, Ho Ho Ho, another snowflake, Let It Snow, Merry Christmas, Snow, Wishes, another snowflake, a package, Joy to the World, and Noel, and Holly, and little swirls. But I thought I could, if this would work on the clay, because it's really cute, I could impress this on the clay. Guess what I just found? Ta-da! But this is Doris, and they make some really good embossing folders, and at Tuesday morning this one was only 99 cents. So what I like to do with embossing folders is take the end of my acrylic rod and just kind of, I go in circles and anything to make sure that it's going to get in there. And I probably should have sprayed my clay with water. Hopefully this won't stick too bad since I'm pressing pretty hard. I just heard that special report. It's something else about Hillary's emails. I'm so tired of hearing about Hillary's emails when there's so many things going on in this world that need attention. But anyway, I'm not going to get into a political discussion on YouTube. Let me see if this will pull up easily. Oh, it's coming up. There. Now, I don't know what this is going to look like. Looks like there are some places I didn't get as well, but you know, the best way to find out is to take some perfect pearls. And I think I will use, I think green and red make mud, so I'm not going to use a green. Let me use a silver. Well, actually, I think this is pewter. And just go over it. Can you see what it's doing? Do I need to come in a little bit? Come in, then I can't see. You can't see. Let me pull this up and move it down. There. Can you see that? Pressed a little too hard there, but if you just lightly brush with your fingertip, I don't think I pressed this hard enough, or else it's not deep enough. Because I'm getting it on the bottom too. So this may not work, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bake this sheet of clay, and then I'm going to come back and see what I can do with it. Maybe, let me do this. Cut off the ragged edges. I know I've gotten quiet again. I'm just thinking what I'm going to do with this. It might be better for me just to ball it up. I think, you know, I've got a die machine, a embossing machine. I wonder if it would do better if I put the whole sheet of clay inside the embossing folder and ran it through my machine. Because my machine does say that it will even emboss leather and metal. It's a strong machine. So I haven't played with it yet. It's brand new. But I might try that just to see. I think I'm going to set this aside. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to recondition it and use it, and then I'll worry about embossing it later. Maybe I'll emboss the gold, which is a little softer. Let me run this through the pasta machine to get rid of the not embossing powder, the perfect pearls and the sayings. And see, we're back to a clean piece of clay. I love polymer clay. So, let's see what else I've got that might look good. Everything is Happy Holidays. What happened to Merry Christmas? That's a reindeer. Haven't done a package. Let me see what the package will do. This might look prettier on white, but I'll do another one on white, and I'll use the one that I think is the prettiest. I plan on making, probably since I don't have that many stamps, I'm going to use, I'm going to make all of these in different colors. That turned out pretty. I'm going to use them in different colors, and then when I'm putting together whatever I'm going to be covering, I can pick the one that goes with it the best. You know, I can see much better when I'm standing up. If I wasn't so lazy, I would stand up and make this video. But that's not going to happen. I'm still zoomed in, aren't I? You can't see what I'm doing. Sorry about that. But again, this is a pretty big tile. But I'll have other things that I can make small tiles with. I need to find me some Christmas charms, and I plan on going to Hobby Lobby sometime soon. I just don't think this is going to work. Well, unless I stamp it. Let me stamp this one. This is that ornament that's more of a solid stamp. It's not a deeply etched stamp. And I'm using archival ink in black, just because it seems to do really well on polymer clay. And they've got this one at an angle, so I might leave it at an angle. Then my package won't look so out of whack if it sits at an angle. I'm not pressing hard, I'm just making sure it's making contact. There we go, that's not too bad. Could have been a little bit better. But I don't think it would have done very well. Trying to use it as a texture. I don't really want this to be a long video, but it looks like it's turning into one, isn't it? So I am going to stop the video. I'm going to just keep making some tiles. I'll finish the red, and then I'll be back. Okay, I wasn't gone long because I was beginning to run out of room on my tile if I still wanted to have room to play with the pearls. So this is what I decided to do. I took a piece of scrap clay, scrap red. This is my scrap. I've got enough to do, goodness, a lot more tiles. And I took some of the green, this is Forever Green Perfect Pearls, and rubbed it on there, and it didn't blend with the red, so it didn't turn to mud. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to try this on a few of these ones. Remember the package and the stocking that I didn't press in very hard? I'm going to try that first since it's very, I don't know exactly how that's going to work. But we'll see. I'm going to try with my finger, tap it off in the cap because you don't need very much of this, and very lightly rub over this. Now this being the reverse, the outline of the stocking should stay red. Okay, can you see that? See the green, the Perfect Pearl shines green. And I love looking at it on the monitor because it shows me where I need to add more green. But yet the outline of the stocking stayed red. So I will be able to use those two that were not very deeply etched. Let me do the same thing on that package since I know now it'll work. Whoops, sticking my finger in the wrong place and I'm making a mess. I shouldn't have put it in, I should have used the cap and I stuck it in the open jar. I like that. So it's good to know I can use the green. Now what else? I made a couple of the Merry and Brights. So let me do one of those in green. See how the words show up. That turned out kind of cute. Like I say, if I come up any, I don't know if you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, but let me come up far enough for you to see what that looks like. See, it says Merry and Bright. And it is bright. So let me do one other in the green. I've got some little words down here that says trim the tree. So since that has to do with the tree, I'll do that in green. And I've got one that says deck the halls, but I don't know if I want to do that. I think I'll put this away. I have enough on my work surface if I want to use it again. And I have a Forever Red, which red on red. That would be interesting. I might try it on that fleur-de-lis. Just, well, no, I want to do that in gold. Something about fleur-de-lis and gold kind of goes together. But let me try this little Deck the Halls. I'm just kind of curious what red on red would look like. You see, it's right here above the Trim the Tree. It's right here, Deck the Halls. It doesn't really show up very well. It has a shine, but that's about it. So I'm going to go to a, I don't really think this is an antique gold. Let me show you my book again. That I did, and it's been a huge help to me. I took black and white clay, made a square, cut them on the diagonal, and then I put half of the black here, half black and half white clay, and then I put the Perfect Pearls on there, and I mentioned it. So on kiwi, that's what kiwi would look like on black. That's what kiwi looks like on white. Kind of gives you an idea of what they all look like. Some of them are pretty close, some of them are pretty different. But I did them for everything. I've got some metallic powders. These are the Pearl X colors. And look at this. This is that duo red-blue. You can see it's pink on the white and blue on the black. So some of them, there's Interference Violet. It's kind of almost not there on the white. It's got a little bit of a shine, but on the black, it's purple. So I get this out whenever I'm looking for something. And I was looking at my Perfect Pearls, and this is called Heirloom Gold that I've got. It's the only gold I've got. So if this doesn't show up very well, I will have to get out a different color. But I'll try it on the fleur-de-lis just to see how that color looks. Looks like Christmas. I tried it, like I said before, I try to use the Perfect Pearls as much as I can because I know for sure that it bonds with the clay when it's baked. The Pearl X, I'm not real sure about. And I just don't know. I don't want to take the chance of ruining things, even though I don't mind putting a glaze on it because this is going to be Christmas, so it's going to be pretty and shiny and bright, hopefully. This again is that Merry and Bright. I really would like to have a brighter gold in my Perfect Pearls. And let's see, let's do, I don't think they would do well on the poinsettia because there's too much blank space. The petals are too big, and when trying to go over the top, you're going to get the petals, and I don't want gold on the petals. So let me try maybe the package. Now, your larger surfaces, of course, require a lot more powder. And then I'm going to get out my Pearl X because they've got some real pretty colors. Decorate the ribbon. Make sure it all. Of course, I could probably have just done the package itself and left the background, but I think the package would show up better if I put gold on the background. But you can see, doing this, you have to allow room around your clay, or you're going to get it on the ones next to it. So that's why I couldn't crowd my pieces in any closer. But that looks okay. I might get the sparkly gold in the Pearl-Ex. Or actually, I have a gold mica powder. This is just the Eberhard Faber gold powder. And this is really gold. Matter of fact, they tell you that you should be using a mask when you do this, and I've never done it. So, but being in a bottle, I'm just going to stick my finger in the bottle and shake it onto my finger. See how bright that is? Maybe use the top of the bottle to tap it on. And let me do, wow, look how gold that is. That's a beautiful gold. I think this is going to be my go-to gold for Christmas. That is so pretty. I'm going to put it over this Merry and Bright. I don't know if it'll stick since it's already got Pearl-Ex on there, but maybe it brightens it up a little bit. Let me see. Let me put it over this Deck the Halls, since that's got that red on it, and the red. Oh wow, look at the difference. I like that. I'm doing all this, and I probably should do some in silver. I'm just so in love with this powder right now. But I also have the silver powder. So I'll get that out as soon as I do this one. And since I have more red clay to make tiles out of, I will do some more. Well, maybe I'll do this batch in gold, and the next batch I'll do in silver. I like that. I still don't know what I'm going to do with the poinsettia and these little stockings. Let me do the Happy Holidays. It might be a good idea to use a mask when you use this, because every time I set that bottle down, powder just flies. And thankfully it's far enough away from me that I don't think I'm breathing any of it, but I could see where it could be a problem. Love that. Oh, why not? I'll just do everything here in gold, since that's my new love. But I think this is actually pulverized gold powder. Let me see what it says. It doesn't really say. It just says gold powder. So it could be mica powder. I imagine I've had it for years and never used it till I started making tiles. Wow. I really like that. I'm going to do this little package in gold. Well, that's good. I was deep enough that I can get the little textures in the package and the ribbon. That looks good. And I'll do the Joy to the World. Gosh, this gold makes that green look sort of sad. So this will be all I'm going to do to this tray. When I do another tray, I will come back and I'll show you what the different processes are that I'm using. Probably won't make it as long as this video, but I will do this one. I think I'm going to just end this one as part 1, and as I make my tiles, I'll just keep adding parts. Now, I don't know if you can see, but my Y kind of got covered up. I don't know that this is going to work, but I'm going to try using, actually I've got a pointed, I'm not sure where these came from. I bought them at a clay retreat, but it's flat. It's like a Q-tip, but it's harder. This is going to be it for now. If I do anything different, I'll be sure to turn on the camera and I'll show you what else I'm doing. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep working until I figure out what I'm going to do here, and then I will be back with part 2, maybe later this afternoon, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Have a good day. Be back soon.